questions so far with this?
Is that about telephone pole size though, width around?
Yes. About a foot in diameter.
And they're wood?
Yes. So I started doing some of the carving and mark making on it as well, but each one will have its own movement, rhythm, and personality, is what I said with it.
Do you envision them being purely abstract based, or each totem with a specific message or meaning?
Each one will have its own message, but the message will be in the marks made upon it. So they're not representational, meaning something, but it will be what I'm giving to each one and bringing it to life and creating its own personality for it. So they will have meaning, but it will be an abstract meaning. Not like this one is about brandy and this one's about
Sure, exactly. Sure.
How will the totems tie to the centerpiece?
They activate the space that this is not activating right now. Height-wise, they stand half the size of the largest truss work. And as you're passing by, it will help engage the viewer. You'll be drawn in with just a few and overwhelmed by multiples. Then you'll see the massive, the monumental aspect in the center, and as you're leaving, you'll leave with them as well. So it's interacting with every direction around the medium, drawing the viewer in as much as possible.
And you originally had a tree in there.
Yes.
I see you're taking it out, but there are some trees that are in that area. Do you foresee pulling those out then for your design?
I'll have to go back and see where they are. Because when I went last time, it seemed they were in a straight line, I believe, right here. I would like the trees that they would stay there, but I would like them to be sporadic to go along with the totems as well, too. Because if there would be one direct line, it would offset everything so far.
You want this random getting denser toward the middle.
Not so much denser towards the middle, and it wouldn't be complete randomness, it would be sporadic while you would go there. When we'd be setting it up, you'd have to work intuitively and find where it would work best. But yes, I took out the tree in the center, because I felt the tension this creates in the space itself. With the tree in the middle of all of it, you would lose a lot of the depth, range, and visual interest that it would create without it.
One of the other things you had mentioned last time, I remember, so you said river rock and things of that nature on this area here. And you had mentioned maybe Indiana limestone on here. Have you changed your mind on that, or is that you want to go with that limestone on?
As I began researching more, I found out either bedrock or cobble or some type of river stone. A smaller one that will be small in size will help create less weight throughout it. Because with the limestone, it's 155 pounds per square foot. So after so much, it builds up. And with this steel polished stone as well, it will help create connecting spots that will help ensure the structure of it.
So the size of the stones, give me a ballpark figure. If I'm looking at this thing, each of the stones are going to be the size of a volleyball, the size of a softball.
I believe it would be smaller than volleyball, maybe like 3 by 5-ish. Because when you pick up the stones, you get a palette of them, maybe a large variety of them. So you have to go through and find out which one works best.
And you're still going to plan on they get smaller as they get towards the top, or they're going to maintain a consistent size?
They'd be mostly uniform now, since I'm not starting out larger, just smaller. I would like them all consistent throughout the entire thing.
The beams, it looks like, would you cut them off in different, it looks like some of them are cut off different. One has a plate at the top, one is just cut off. Is that to create interest or just the way?
That would be how much space I could get out. I'd have to be resourceful and use what's available. So I would have to see it again to be able to figure out the exact place, but to create it so it has a feeling of easiness to be the best bet. So we'd have to go back, take remeasurements, and then go from there as to where.
We got plenty of steel, I think.
I think we do.
If we went with your idea here, would we have to have a cement base under this, or is that going to be, you're going to have that 2 or 3 feet taller and that's going to go down into the ground? Or is this going to set on a cement pad? Or how are these things going to be attached to the ground?
There'd be slabs all around here, so it'll be going into the ground as well, but connect to the truss work. But again, with this as well, I'll have to talk to an engineer prior to it, because this is what I'm thinking. I'll have to have another make sure everything's legit, but there are multiple ways we can get it and still make sure it's secure. With this, as well as being the focal point, as you're entering the city of Lawrence, I wanted the largest one be facing out, so you're seeing it, it's becoming this gateway as you're entering the city. It's a new gateway to the arts and gateway to the city. So you come in, seeing all this new visual interest.
You had mentioned the cardinal points on that. Is there any additional significance, other than pure, true direction, is there other significance you're placing with it, with the cardinal, or just, established as the true directions?
As I was thinking about City of Lawrence, trying to figure out a plan, I went first for the directions and started researching that. The directions, I can't remember if I mentioned prior to this or not, but each one has a resemblance to age, and I knew with the age, then I could relate it to height. So it's birth, adolescence, or birth, teenage, adulthood, elderly. So with it, it's going up in size as well. And then I was trying to figure out how those two would go hand in hand. And I thought when you're a child, you look at your father's half your size, he's 6 foot tall, you're 3 foot tall. So you would be the children looking at the adulthood that would be 12 feet tall, and you would be 6 feet tall. So then that helped me figure out the pattern of height-wise that I would like to be trustworthy.
So the tallest one is 15 feet then,
The
right?
tallest one would be 14, but 16 and a half up to the archway itself.
Okay.
And I've placed it so everything is in the center and nothing is near areas of traffic. If anything, nothing would happen, but it's in a spot where everything is secure.
Very nice.
Can you share with me the angle? And again, I apologize for being late. I sat in that auditorium for a few minutes and I realized they were taking a test.
Hey, how'd you do in the test, John?
Did you have a directional perspective?
North is right here. So as north, east, south, and west.
Okay.
So as you're facing this way, directly in front of us would be east on the farthest side.
Okay.
So this